Yes, guys, this is Ninny Last and welcome. In this video, what we're going to be talking about is Call of Duty 2016, but we are going to be concentrating on one particular aspect. Now, we've been seeing a lot of videos floating around, a lot of rumours and everything else about what possibly could be happening this November. We've been hearing that Brian Horton now is joining Infinity Ward as the new studio art director, and there's been a lot of hiring and firing going on within Infinity Ward themselves since the actual last installment that they actually made. Now, in regards to this, I mean, like, people have been talking about, is it going to be on last generation consoles? Is it just going to be made for next gen? I mean, I can't honestly see it being made for last gen. I think that's going to be completely out the window. I don't know why people are coming up with that rumor. There's no way, after the way Black Ops 3 was dealt with on last generation consoles, I cannot see that happening whatsoever. But one thing that has got me intrigued straight away, especially in forums and what people are actually talking about, is going back to boots on the ground. They're hoping that Infinity Ward are going to go back to, say, like the Modern Warfare 2 days, and they get boots on the ground. It's going to be kind of like that. Now, for me in particular, that'd be kind of a mistake in a way. It really, really would, because the fact of the matter is, when we look back to Call of Duty Ghosts, okay, that was a bad installment. It wasn't very good. The map designs were absolutely horrendous. It was a very, very slow-paced game. But then come along Sledgehammer Advanced Warfare. Now, they took us on a completely different direction, and they've evolved the game. And yes, it was too much. It was too hectic. The exosuits were just crazy. Do you know what I mean? That, with the way that the map designs were and stuff like that, it really didn't work out whatsoever. I mean, it was quite fun to a certain extent, but it was a bit of a tryout fest, and it just stressed you out more than anything else. But then forward then to Black Ops 3. Now, Black Ops 3 now have toned it down. There's no exosuits or anything else like that, but you do got the new movement mechanics. Now you can wall run, swim, and especially you can actually still jump. Now, the thing with this jumping thing, especially what we heard before the actual beta and before we actually had hands on time with the game, was that the way the jumping mechanics actually worked, that it didn't actually affect your firefights. You know, everything happens in your field of view. You don't actually use those particular jumping mechanics to get out of firefights or win firefights or anything else like that. Now, as we already know, that is a load of rubbish. It really, really is. I mean, I've used the jumping mechanics on this game to win plenty of fights and to get out of plenty of fights quite easily. So we know that's not quite right. So a lot of people now are saying, let's just go back to the way we started. Now, for me, like I say, I think it's going to be a bit of a mistake to go backwards, because Advanced Warfare, when it comes out again with Sledgehammer, they're not going to change their ways too much. I mean, they could probably tone it down, maybe change the map design, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's going to carry on evolving. Things are still going to keep moving forward. So I'd be very surprised if Infinity Ward decided to go back to boots on the ground. Now, don't get me wrong, if he went back to boots on the ground, I'd be quite happy to play the game. I wouldn't be complaining. I wouldn't be saying, oh, this has ruined it or anything else like that. But I would be quite surprised if they went backwards, because at the end of the day, the game now feel like it's evolving. You know, games are changing all the time, whether we like it, whether we don't. You know, the way that things are actually being made, the way that you've got the new design features, the way the AI is actually working, everything else. You know, games are evolving, things are moving forward at such a pace nowadays that, you know, everything is changing. And I'd be very surprised now for us to actually go backwards. Now we've actually moved forwards with these different kind of ways of actually playing the game. And a lot of people have actually said that Black Ops 3 is one of the best installments of Call of Duty ever. Now, that's not just coming from people that are new to the game. There's a lot of people who have basically played quite a lot of previous Call of Duty titles, and they're saying this is one of the most fun games to date. Now, for me personally, I absolutely love Black Ops 3, and I think it is absolutely great fun to use. I like all the mechanics. I like being able to do different things. I personally would not like to go back to the old ways. Like I say, I wouldn't complain if it did. But personally for me, I think now that we've made that step forward, a lot of people cried out for change. And I mean, everybody cried out for change. And you got change, and now they want to go backwards. I don't think that's particularly going to happen. Now, in regards to Treyarch in the next Call of Duty game that they're actually going to be making in the next 3-year cycle, a lot of people think it's going to go back to World at War. Now, it possibly could do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going back to World at War, but I think if you're going to be going with the Modern Warfare era, keeping up with today's kind of warfare or anything else like that, I mean, at the end of the day, the mechanics are going to be pretty much the same. I mean, I could understand if we went back to the World at War era, then obviously it'd be boots on the ground, it'd be pretty much back to normal, and that would be an absolutely brilliant game. Don't get me wrong, the way Treyarch make games, they wouldn't disappoint us in the slightest. But for me, with Infinity Ward at the moment as it stands, would they really go backwards? And then obviously when Advanced Warfare comes out, we got to then get back used to using exosuits or some form of movement mechanics again. But be very interesting to see. But for me personally, I hope they don't go backwards. I hope it stays kind of like the way it is. I don't want to go into like Advanced Warfare kind of thing, but I would quite happily see the kind of movement system that we've actually got at the moment, and not to go back to the pretty much static boots on the ground that we did have before. But anyway, guys, I know this is a bit of a sore point with a lot of different people, so feel free to leave all your comments in the section below, whether you love it, whether you hate it. You can slag me off all you like, that is fine. It's all now just to be listening to what different people's points of view. Be very, very interesting to see. But coming up on my screen now is my subscribe button. Make sure you jump in on that, and guys, if you could drop a like on this video and support my channel, it would be even better. This is Ninny Lance, and I'll catch you later.